Mm. Namaste. That was beautiful. What a nourishing session that was, right? And I can really feel, I followed through some breathing and I can really feel the peace. So I really hope that you feel the same. I believe that breathing is such an important thing for our body. It nourishes our cells, and breathing is not only good for our heart, but it's also good for our brain. So next up, we have a special guest who is the author of The Psychology of Spas and Wellbeing. His name is Jeremy McCarthy. He's currently the group director of spa and wellness at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel Group. And if you're familiar with the MO or the Mandarin Oriental, then you know that the holistic side, the wellness side is really big and they really do pay attention. So today, Jeremy is going to be sharing with us a topic, a discussion on inner strength and outer strength.
Hello, and happy Global Wellness Day. My name is Jeremy McCarthy, and I'm the Group Director of Spa and Wellness for Mandarin Oriental Hotel Group. And today I wanted to share with you some things that we have learned about developing inner and outer strength. Over the last year and a half, we've basically turned our wellness programming to thinking about how can we use this time of disruption to help people get stronger. And we've been rolling out new programs and initiatives for our colleagues and employees, as well as our guests and our fans of MO from around the world. So I thought I would start by telling you how I define strength. I think about strength as having excess capacity for action. In other words, we feel strong when we have the capacity to handle whatever we need to handle while still having a reserve of capacity left over. When we don't have that reserve, we feel depleted, we get fatigued, or we cannot continue moving forward unless we take some time for rest or recovery. So building up strength is all about developing this capacity for action that we can then draw on whenever we need it. Now, the total amount of strength that somebody is going to need will depend a lot on their individual circumstances. Are you an athlete? Are you in a challenging professional environment? Are you a parent and managing a family or a household? So people will need more or less strength depending on the demands of their lifestyle. People who are facing greater challenges in their day-to-day lives will need to have more reserves of strength at their disposal to get them through. People who are living simpler, more sedentary lives might not need the same reserves of strength. But actually, everyone can benefit from improving their inner and outer strength in some way. So when we talk about outer strength, we're thinking about physical vitality or fitness. And this is important for health, for mobility, and for overall quality of life. But especially right now, we see that this is also important because it makes us more resilient to illness. And we've seen during this pandemic that the people who have been most impacted by the virus are those whose health was already compromised to begin with. So having strength in our immune system means that our body has a reserve of capacity to fight off illness, even when confronted with something like a novel coronavirus. And inner strength has also been more important than ever because we've all been facing an incredible amount of anxiety and uncertainty. And inner strength is about having mindfulness, having emotional resilience, the ability to manage stress and to draw on your own character strengths. When we're inwardly strong, it means we're not incapacitated by stress and we don't become paralyzed by uncertainty. If things are difficult, we can confront them head on. We can stay in touch with our highest goals and values and make important decisions that will move us forward in a positive direction. So how do we develop inner and outer strength? Well, the ironic thing about strength is that the way to get stronger is by doing things that make us feel weak. In other words, if we want to expand our capacity for action, we have to overload the current capacity and push our mind and body to adapt to get stronger. Some of you may have heard of a book by Nassim Nicholas Taleb called Anti-Fragile. And he talks about how humans are anti-fragile. We get stronger through adversity. And so in order to develop outer strength, we have to challenge our bodies. We have to push ourselves. And usually we do this through sports and exercise. But a lot of people focus their fitness training on activities that they are already good at. You know, people who are strong runners like to go running. People who are good at yoga like to do yoga. People who are good at sports like to play their favorite sport. But actually, the best way to develop outer strength is to push yourself to do things that you are not good at. So you could try a new sport. Or if you normally do yoga, maybe you should try running or lifting weights. If you normally lift weights, maybe try yoga or dance. We always get stronger by doing things that make us feel weak because we are anti-fragile. So finding an activity that you will struggle with is what is ultimately going to make you stronger. And we don't think about this as much, but the same is also true for inner strength. If we want to be more mindful and more emotionally resilient, we have to do things that challenge us mentally and emotionally. So a mindfulness practice, like meditation, for example, is where we struggle to focus our attention, even though we feel our minds wandering all over the place. And that struggle of constantly recapturing and refocusing our attention again and again is what will make us stronger. We can also develop inner strength by training our mind to confront adversity. So a lot of people lately are getting into cold water immersion, like taking a cold shower or an ice bath. Why? Because every time you get into the cold shower, you're training your mind to deal with fear and anxiety. You're training yourself to move forward despite the short-term struggle, despite the discomfort, despite the stress that you might be experiencing. And every time we make that decision to move forward in spite of adversity, our minds become even stronger. So I'm almost out of time, but I hope you find these ideas helpful for developing your own inner and outer strength. I think we've all faced a lot of uncertainty in the past 18 months, and we've all experienced a lot of disruption to our way of life. But one thing that we can always do when things are difficult, when you experience disruption, when you're not sure what direction to go in, you can always focus on making yourself stronger. Making yourself stronger is about building up that reserve capacity for action that is going to serve you into the future. Making yourself stronger means you will be better able to support and help the people closest to you. And in times of uncertainty, making yourself stronger means you will be ready to take action when the best path forward becomes clear. So I hope you use this Global Wellness Day as a launch pad for thinking about how you will develop your own inner and outer strength going forward. Thank you and stay strong.
When did you get back from Beijing? I gotta know. Ooh, Molly, are you stuck in nostalgia? Like